When your old career gives you lemons, throw in some ice, mix in some vodka, and call it a podcast. From the Mac of All Trades studio in Fairport and driven by Victor Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram, it's Billified, the Bill Moran Podcast.
Welcome. Thanks for getting your pot on. Thank you for telling a friend. I apologize for the late start tonight, Dan. The later start than planned.
You don't have to apologize to me. It's a privilege to be here.
I had to take a...
This is the podcast to be on. It's every day.
Yeah.
It's live.
Yeah.
Although, you probably get it. You're probably getting it, listeners, Thursday morning, but it's live. But, it's awesome.
Yeah.
I put this up against anything. Rogan, Corolla, your mom's podcast about Tupperware, whatever.
So, I had to go to the bathroom. I had to go. And then once I started going to the bathroom, which would be number 2, that's why you say it twice, I couldn't stop. It was just like, and not uncomfortable, just like, woo, yeah, relief. Then
Did one of those kids in school slip you a chocolate X-Lax?
I don't know.
Hey, Mr. Moran, you're my favorite teacher. Want to try this candy bar? It's Hershey's.
They call me Mr.
Carry on my way to another road that I must travel.
You know why?
Yeah.
Did I tell you why? I never said my name one of the first times I was in there. So I had subbed for them back in the fall. Just one day, one in and out. And that's part of the reason I'm back there now. And I'll explain this story later. But at that time, I don't know how to do it. Like, I can relate to the kids and I can actually teach the lower levels, right? Elementary. But I never wrote. So one of the kids goes, Mr. Because they couldn't come up with my last name because I never said I'm Mr. Moran. So
they didn't write it on the blackboard?
No.
Do they use blackboards anymore?
No, but there's a whiteboard. There's a marker board there, or there's a smart board. But I
can't believe that was more cost effective. But go ahead.
So so then I go, oh, you know what? That was a band in the 80s.
Yeah.
And it stuck. So now this one class of kids just calls me Mr. Our friend Racing Randy is holding on patiently. I want to get Randy on there. Hello, Randy. I don't know that we can see you.
Hey, buddy.
There's a black box.
I'm trying. I can see you, no problem.
Okay, well, that's good.
Sounds like you're in your bathroom.
I was just going to say.
Are you taking the brown eye, too?
No, sir. I'm in where the computer is.
Okay.
And I usually don't work this thing. So.
Yeah, well, that shows.
I don't know why you can't see me. I got no friggin' idea, buddy.
Well, do you have a camera on it?
Yeah, I know there's a camera on it, but I don't know where the hell. But I don't know how to
Is it a laptop, Randy? Randy, is it a laptop?
No. No, it's not a laptop.
Some laptops have like a little eye at the top.
There's a chance. There is a chance that this computer does not have a camera. Well,
I know what this one does because my granddaughter uses this thing, so I know it does.
Your brother.
Your brother. My brother, yeah.
He died 3 times.
At the hospital.
Boy, Jesus.
Three for Dale Earnhardt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dale Earnhardt couldn't come back from that. This guy died 3 times.
I guess Jesus really didn't want him.
You kidding me? Jesus don't want him, and hell's afraid he'll take over.
Did he have any visions?
He was out 4 minutes was the longest he was out.
Oh, my God.
But
he's
home. He's been home since it happened 2 weeks ago today, and he came home that Sunday. He's I got to get home. I got to watch Daytona 500.
You got to be kidding me.
And I love Kyle Busch, and I'm a Joey Logano fan, but I'm going to be wrong with Kyle Busch saying that Joey Logano caused the accident. He did not. There was a hole. He took it. Stenhouse, that stupid son of a bitch, should have fucking blocked earlier, or fucking just stayed out of his lane, or got in front of Logano and went through with him like a dumbass.
Bing!
And here's the best part. The best part, like 10 laps earlier, they were talking. They said, hey, the guys in the back better get to the front pretty soon. They're going to run out of time. Well, no shit.
No, this year.
Who's winning it all?
This year, your overall favorite.
This year?
Yeah.
I tell you, it's going to be, truthfully, I believe it's going to be hard to beat anybody at Penske Racing. So it's going to be Logano or Blaney is what I think is going to happen.
Okay. All right.
We'll see what happens. I mean, there's a lot of guys like really need to bounce back. Like Kyle Larson and Jesus Christ, Elliott. He needs to bounce back. I mean, Denny Hamlin. I don't like. He's not my favorite. Okay, but he's the best driver, like Mark Martin, who's never won a championship.
You know what, Randy? Right?
Deserve it.
Randy, are you talking with your hands?
Believe it or not, I am.
Yeah, because I can hear your hand hitting the table like you're going, God damn, making a point. God damn it! I'll tell you what that happened.
I said, you see that? Did you see that bullshit the fucking NASCAR did in fucking June? Them fucking stupid sons of bitches.
Wait, a June? Did you say?
June. The month.
Prime video. I ain't buying fucking Prime Video to watch 4 goddamn races. What the fuck is wrong with them?
This is.
Like, yeah, I get pissed off. Piss me off.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Randy.
You know what? It sounds like it's misplaced anger. I'll just put it that way.
Yeah, I think there's like a lot going on with Randy, and he's taking it out on NASCAR. Why wouldn't you?
Yeah.
For all the money he spends at Watkins Glen, he should have his own car named after him.
Not a problem, buddy. Thank you. Thanks, guys.
All right, we'll talk.
Don't worry. We'll get together and do some talking.
Okay.
Cool.
Sounds good, Randy.
All right, buddy. See ya.
See ya. And we will.
We should take Randy out. Nice little thank you for all the years.
It'd be great to take Randy out.
Is that what he sounds like at South Butler?
It's Randy. Hey, but I see you.
I've talked openly about being a substitute teacher, and I was asked by a principal to go and cover a 6th grade class because I had done it once or twice and the kids liked me. And apparently this class, they're not bad. They're just kids, but I guess they really, I mean, I'm starting to think like young kids or kids, and like anybody, they almost like an animal, they can sense when you're scared. You know what I mean?
Right. They know.
They know. And so I'm just me, and they liked me, and we talked, and I was cool because my thing was always, basically, I'm here for a day, right? I don't need to screw up your world and make lots of rules and things. Let's just get through the day. You're cool, I'm cool, maybe I'm, easy, but I'm not giving out homework and all this stuff. Your teacher will come back here. And I did that once, twice, and then they called me and said, listen, would you just cover for 2 weeks? So during kind of that awkward time where they're packed up, and I try to get them to do something, so we play this game. They can log in on their laptop, and it's an educational game. They have to identify like flags from around the country or whatever like that. But they get to pick their own code name. So I saw some because some kid wrote, he used a girl's name, but it was, like Danielle, let's say, Stinky Danielle. And I kicked that name out because I'm like, I know Danielle didn't write that. And I'm sure it's one of these other little dudes here. And I get it. Why in the end of the day? So I have to kick some of these out. I mean, we're at work here, Dan. Their game is playing. The game is playing. And whoever scores the most points, there's a leaderboard, and you'll pop up on the big screen at the front of the classroom. Big, giant screen, just a huge one. And they're the name, but they get to pick their nicknames. And Huge Erection is there. And I have to go, all right. Because I got to be the guy.
Yeah.
I got to be that guy. The guy who did dick jokes on the radio for 30 years. The guy who did every stupid thing. The guy who would call bars back in the day when I was afternoons and CMF in the South, and just to prove how dumb they were, would ask for Huge Erection,
Right.
And
did the Porky's thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so I say, who did, all of a sudden, like, that name drops down from the leaderboard and never to be heard from again. Never seen, never anything. So kind of who did it. And I don't really think it's that big a deal.
Right.
I just don't.
I know.
Okay?
But you have to.
Well, I guess.
You feel you have.
Okay.
I'm with you. I guess.
I don't know.
I guess.
I don't know what the right thing is.
Right.
So to me.
Because you're at the age now where you realized, okay,
well,
is this really that big a deal?
Yeah. When I said that I'm at an age, I was the Huge Erection guy.
Yeah.
We would go to the payphone.
You're punishing yourself.
We went to the payphone in the lobby of my high school. That's how old I phone. We would scrounge up a quarter, we would drop it in there, and it would be at school, but there was the sports stuff. And sometimes our practice may end a little early, especially if the weather was a little questionable, and you'd have 20, 30 minutes before the bus came. So you would go down. I don't even know why we went down there because the bus wouldn't even come to that entrance. But we would go walk all the way down. We get to the payphone. We call the main office.
Okay.
And poor Mrs. Bay.
Oh, boy.
Mrs. Bay be sitting there. And we'd say, because sometimes if you had a deeper voice, you would be the one to do it. So and sometimes you'd even try to make it deeper and go, hey, this is Mr. Hunt. Can you page my son Mike? I need to get him. And then we'd sit there and we'd count 10, 9, 8. Then you'd hear the rumbling in the phone and stuff because it was a phone. And I was saying, Mike Hunt, you have a phone call, Miss Mike Hunt. We would be fucking howling. This is that.
Yep.
Huge erection. Got in there. And I was kicking him out. I didn't see it. I go, you got one by me. Good job. Is what I want to think in my head. That is
Dominic Hasek.
Yeah. Man, I thought I was.
He scores!
I thought I was. Huge erection. Got in. Slid right in there. And so.
Can you bet you Rick on Nick and that call? Huge erection! Power play! Students of 0.
So this lovely woman who teaches on the other side of the wall, and she comes over and she says to me, I heard this kid, and I during that time, I was right there, and she goes, who was sitting back here? And I go, well, the usual suspects.
You already know who they are.
Well, I know who they are because I knew them. Here is why I liked where I was in life. I walk in a classroom, and I can spot exactly who. I can almost profile every kid. I don't know what that is, but I can look down and I go, I know exactly who each kid in this room is. I know you're an A student. I know you should be an A student, but you're me. And, I can see it. I see all that. So I could see these kids even this age. I could see who is what, right? And she said, I just wanted you to know I did have to write them up. And I just said to her, I said, what do they do? Well, might be a lunch detention, whatever. And my point with it was like, and I said to her, I go, I don't want the kids to hate having to come here because all I am is in trouble. And she said, yes, but we also have to kind of curb things in because they do go on to high school. And she's right. Yeah. And you need to have some societal norms, and you got to know how to behave in certain situations. It's just like, they're going to push the envelope, and this is what they do. And I was hoping that it wasn't necessarily an indictment on me. I didn't hear the kid say it. He may have said it, and I might have gone, yeah, you're not kidding. I don't even know.
Right.
I may have said it.
We're in the 40s.
Like, it never, ever, ever hit me that he said hell. It just never hit me. So, but...
Well, because think of all the dirty words we had to dump in radio.
Dude.
There was one time when we were working with Rich, he was the producer, George Carlin had died. And Tim Russert had died the same time. So Tim Russert is lying in state in D.C., which Tommy thought was ridiculous.
Yes. And he's not
wrong. He goes, so what we ought to do is, a week later, George Carlin dies. We ought to honor George Carlin the way Washington and NC honored Tim Russert. We're going to play some of Carlin's old bits. So he hands me the CD. I go in, CD, folks. I go in to edit out all the swear words, and 2 or 3 would get by me. And Tommy goes, you get desensitized to it.
Yeah, you do.
Now, the word hell... it's something we were desensitized to like 30 years ago. Yeah. Okay. Like the S word, the F word, those are words that are like, you're racist an eyebrow.
You should say with like a kid, right? Mm-hmm. But it just never, I swear I didn't hear it. I may have, I'm wondering if I even react. I may have turned around and go, goddamn right. Let me crack a window. I don't know. I didn't. I mean, I haven't, I don't speak that way in front of the kids. Like the other day, we were doing the size of cells, the size of atoms, and you can look on this tool, and one kid goes, wow, Uranus is so big, right? And so I go, you mean Uranus? And the kid, what? And I go, it's Uranus, and you know it's Uranus. But then later on, I go, what do you think the size of the molecules are on Uranus? And they fucking fell out of their chairs. But here's the problem with that. You blur the lines.
Right.
You blur the lines.
Go Robin Thicke on everybody.
Well, I got to say... Yeah, right, exactly.
Blurred lines.
So I always love this.
I know you want to swear.
I really like
I know you need to swear.
So
we
now,
got a substitute.
Huge erection's up there. So I see it. I ask who's huge erection. And I kind of figured out, I could, if you lined guys up and you had me on the other side of the glass, I think I got a 75% chance or better at hitting the right person. But I can give you the 4 suspects that were there. So I'm talking to this teacher, and I go, yeah, I'm one of them. She goes, ooh. She's like, who did it? And I said, I don't really know. She said, well, who do you think did it? And I go, well, here's 1 or 2. She goes, not this. I go, absolutely not. He was not part of the game. He was walking around. He didn't even have his laptop.
Suddenly you're rolling over.
And I go, I don't. She's like, no, you don't understand. She's like, that is like over the line. And I go, yeah. And I tell her the story about calling the main office and getting Mike Hunt paged. And she goes, yeah, but that was 1-to-1. I go, no, it wasn't. She goes, this is like for the entire, I go, this was for everybody in the building. Mike Hunt, you have a phone call. Right. I mean, come on, right? And Mrs. Bay, who you thought knew every kid in the school, or all kids went there. So she said, no. She's like, there will be parent complaints if some kid goes home and says they were uncomfortable. And she goes, you've got kids in here. And I go, yeah, but so this is what I said. She just said there will be parent complaints, right? And I said, I go, really? And she's like, oh, yeah. And she said, that's the thing, the parent emails and things. I mean, and I went, yeah, that's stuff I don't even think about. I go, I come from a career, and I have not said to anybody that I was on the radio for that. I just don't talk about it. I came from a career of, she goes, I know. Like, okay.
We did our homework.
Yeah, I know.
Mr.
Yes. So then she said, no, you don't understand. And I go, well, yeah, but I don't want that kid to hate school because now he's just, all he did was one thing. She goes, they know better. And she goes, and what about the kid that really is uncomfortable with that? What about the kid who never feels like they can really say anything? They're soft-spoken. And I'm like, she goes, they need to be comfortable in school too. Valid argument. It's a valid argument.
Is that language really making you uncomfortable?
I don't know. I can't. Yeah, I can't.
If that's the case, you should be homeschooled.
Well, here's the thing. I can't. I hear what you're saying, but I can't.
This is Christian Dan talking.
No, I can't dictate to that. And the thing is, it would be probably filed under sexual harassment at most businesses today. I saw a story today, Danny, and I don't know, and will take us into another topic too, but 31-year-old Indiana math teacher. Just simmer on that one. Her name is Brittany Ferry. Starts with sex conduct after the abuse.
Want to see my Fortenberries?
Including having sex with
a come up with my Fortenberries?
15-year-old.
See my Fortenberries?
According to court documents, the teacher sent explicit photos via Snapchat, including images of sex toys and a stripper pole in her home before initiating physical encounters. The 15-year-old victim suggested there could be as many as 10 other victims. 10 other victims. Is this weird to me that you would do that? When initially confronted about sending inappropriate images to students, Fortin blamed her behavior on her recent 150-pound weight loss. She started getting attention she never had in her entire life. She mentally, I will use the word because it is, she retarded at like 16 or 17, just stopped maybe even emotionally developing or whatever happened. That here's the only thing that I could go, armchair psychologist.
She stunted her emotional growth.
That we did probably, because usually if you lost 150 pounds and you're 31, there's a good chance you were fat in high school. Don't you think? Yeah. Even if you were 25 pounds overweight or 50 pounds overweight, you're still
considered high school.
Yeah,
chunky.
You were a high school husky. And you know what I mean? High school husky. And she probably never got the attention. And so now all the boys are like, damn, you know, behind them. And
it's amazing how our mind always goes back to high school, doesn't it?
It does. It's emotionally scarring. You know, it's sort of, we say, like, give me the 7 and you got kind of the base characteristics, but, you know, there are things that could really be, well, I think the term is traumatized.
Oh, yeah. Like, I was told, like, I was my class president. Our 20th anniversary, I was told by a couple people, hey, someone's not coming, are they? I go, well, 2 legitimate reasons, and one that was ridiculous. The ridiculous reason was, well, I lost my virginity to this guy who I mentioned earlier in the podcast, and it was supposed to be to somebody else. And so I always felt bad about that. I just him. I go, well, they didn't graduate with us. They ended up, and this guy ended up like stealing a lot of money somewhere. So from another classmate's mom. So I don't think you have to worry. He hasn't been invited. Oh, good. Oh, good. But I'm like, maybe you should talk to a psychologist about this issue.
Yeah.
It was yours. I don't even think he's thinking about that.
So this teacher losing that weight, I think now all of a sudden, and a group of boys from the age, I'll say 12 to 18, maybe 25, but a group of boys walking around and they see a hot chick, one of them will do some kind of catcall or something like, damn, right? But that way you can't really identify who it is because they're in a group.
Yeah.
They're not going to do it one-on-one, but group mentality, I'm safe.
Yeah.
So I'll be, and I'll make my boys laugh.
Little boys turn into wolves.
So she was immediately suspended when allegations surfaced and resigned the next day. This all happened August 22nd and 23rd of last year. She now faces multiple charges, including sexual misconduct. The psychological impact of this can be bad. And this kid is saying, like, he was molested, is what he says. So it sounds like he lives with his grandmother. His grandmother's like losing her mind over this. But this woman, she lost 150 pounds. So
Jameson.
More.
Wow.
She lost more than Jameson. Yeah. Yeah. Lost 150 pounds.
She lost a junior. She lost a freshman in high school.
Yeah. She lost a freshman in high school and gained multiple felony charges.
She lost to Mr. Rogers.
Yes, that's right.
She lost, like, Mr. Rogers, like, the thing was he weighed 143 pounds his entire adult life. 143, that was a big thing. I love you. That was his whole thing. I love you. And that was, like, in his documentary, the big thing was he maintained 143 pounds. This woman lost a Mr. Rogers plus.
Yeah, she did. A supersized Mr. Rogers is what she lost.
Sweater and all,
but
soaking wet.
But here's the thing that's strange is you wonder, like, you would take somebody like this and feature them in a weight loss commercial.
Yeah.
Right?
Before and way before.
Yeah, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
Like that? How did you lose all this weight? High school boys. You know what I mean? That's all I can think.
We had a boss who shipped half his own car.
Yeah.
And we're like, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
We thought you're big now.
Yeah. So, you go have unprecedented, and everybody does, but educators too, have an unprecedented digital access to communicate with kids. Right, off school grounds and out of the sight of school anything, right? I mean, I will say the private school my kid went to monitored social media as well as I think you can, right? Anything that emanated from their school and went out, they knew about it. And anything that they got wind of that happened on the weekend, something, they on it, if wind of it, and they were looking. Not to get kids in trouble, but there was a standard. You got to meet the standard. And I don't know. You get these unfettered access. What responsibility does everybody kind of share in recognizing and addressing these kind of issues? That's the part that, you start seeing warning signs of predatory stuff. You like to think that, Rachel is just a good, and by the way, married woman, 31-year-old married woman, lost 150 pounds because you were her fat boyfriend.
Right.
You know what I mean? That's the fat her.
I know more women
She's
who
lost
a ton of weight and not only just shed the pounds, but shed the hound.
Oh, yeah. They shed the pound, the hound, the whole thing. You got it, Danny. Good.
There are waitresses who work for my uncle. I remember coming back from college. Like, wait, is that so-and-so? Oh, yeah. Oh, you didn't hear about this?
Yeah.
I go, what? No, she lost 100 pounds. She dyed her hair, and she got rid of her husband.
Actually, there were some interesting moments, like when Barbara Walters asked Monica, did you ever think about Hillary? And she said, I don't do women. So I don't know. It was kind of an interesting.
Even the crowd was like, no.
You think this is the last we'll hear of Monica? You think this is it now? Can we stop with this? I hope so. How, you think her 15 minutes of stain are finally over? Please, thank you very much. Oh. Well, over on CBS, Shania Twain had her big musical special. I felt sorry for Shania. See, that brings up the age-old question for guys. Who do you watch? The nice girl? The pretty girl you can take home to mom? Or the cheap, slender girl puts out? Everybody goes for Monica.
Oh, see, like, and was Monica really like that? I don't know. That's the stuff that you looking back over so many years, knowing that you're 23 and all this stuff,
I think most 23-year-old women would have gotten caught up in the same way.
Yeah,
It just happened to be Monica
I do
Lewinsky.
too.
It just
But I
happened to be
can't
her.
say you can't say there's no culpability there.
No,
you can't.
She's
not an
responsible.
idiot. She's not an idiot.
She's responsible.
Yeah.
She's got a White House internship. She
Yes.
can't be stupid.
No,
Actually, if you look at Washington,
I don't know, but I'm just saying.
I mean, Herschel Walker almost got to the Senate. Okay,
Yeah, but
guy's got an IQ of like 80.
the New York Jets
Herschel wants chicken wings.
had a very disappointing season.
Didn't they diagnose it with schizophrenia at one point?
I don't know. Did they?
I think so. Herschel's hungry. Do you know what Herschel likes to eat? He would ask his wife.
The New York Jets had a disappointing season.
Yeah, more than that.
And now that disappointing season has quantifiable evidence behind it. Would that be fair to say, Dan?
This is fantastic. I love it.
As the owner, Woody Johnson has officially earned the worst owner grade in the NFL, according to the NFLPA, which is the NFL's Players Association's annual report card. The Players Association surveyed its members to create a quote-unquote free agency guide so teams would know, or players would know, what teams are really like. Now, don't forget, last year at the bottom of the list, the Chiefs in facilities.
Yes.
Right? In facilities. So, I don't know. Woody Johnson, I think, had a B-, plummeted to an F. Players specifically criticized Johnson for his perceived unwillingness to invest in facilities. They looked nice on all the stuff I saw, but I don't know. Didn't they? Hard Knocks, they looked okay. His negative impact on team culture and his questionable commitment to building a competitive team. The Jets season was marked by controversies, including the midseason firing of Robert Saleh, reports that Johnson vetoed a trade because a player's Madden rating was too low.
Yes, that's true. Diana Rossini from The Athletic documented all this.
Letting your son run your team based on Madden or social media is kind of like letting your favorite bartender do your surgery because they watch Grey's Anatomy. You know what I mean? It's like the same thing in my head. I go, you wouldn't do that, right? So
let's put it this way. Who's the biggest Bills fan we know?
The biggest Bills
The
fan?
biggest Bills fan you and I both know.
Greg Connors.
Greg Connors, right?
Yeah.
Greg Connors, I think, could own an NFL team.
Yes.
Okay. But I think Greg Connors would know, all right, if I'm going to own the team, I need to hire the right people to show me my blind spots and what I don't know. Okay.
And Woody does.
Woody Johnson is, I think, a fourth generation heir of the Johnson & Johnson throne.
Yeah.
Or something like that. And he has never once tried to figure out his blind spots.
Okay, but hang on a second now, because here's where my thinking goes. As fans, we constantly blame coaches and players. Refs a little bit, but coaches and players.
I blame coaches and players.
What would it take for fans to successfully pressure an owner like Woody, who's worth billions and ranks dead last among his peers in terms of ownership, to actually sell a historic franchise? Could the fans get that he's running into the ground? Could fans do something? Because normally we would say it's the players, and it is. It's the culture. It's the whole mess. But he seems to be the guy stirring the pot.
I think the pain to change has to be less than the pain to stay the same.
Yes.
Right? I think if you're a Jets fan, you can renew your season tickets because you want to keep them for the next guy.
Sure.
But don't go to games. Just eat the money. Just eat the tickets. Or try or sell them to every team's opponent that's coming to town or whatever. You cannot. I mean, because the only way this guy's going to get canned is if the owners all oust him. Right. Dan Snyder pretty much got forced out because he found out he was stealing money from the other owners.
Also, there was other.
There's a lot of stuff, but it took a mountain of evidence.
It did.
Like a 10-year investigation to get him out, and they still like almost didn't do it.
So we're not hearing allegations of sexual harassment.
No, Woody's just an ass.
Yes. Okay. So
he's just a bad owner.
So here's my question: how much influence does an owner have on the day-to-day operation?
As much as he wants.
Okay. So I say that, and of course, we all think of the biggest owner in the NFL. The team, they don't go to the coach.
And he smiles, they will start, ding. I am the owner. I am the general manager.
Yes.
I do the press conferences.
Right.
I mean, he's the reason why Dion ain't coaching the Cowboys right now.
Well, right. Right.
Brian Schottenheimer.
Yeah.
I mean, you may as well hire Greg Connors to coach your team. Okay. And I think Greg would do a better job.
Maybe
You
not.
think Greg would ever take that role?
Maybe.
If Jerry called Greg up, you think he'd sacrifice the Bills for the?
Well, we're talking Jerry Jones as an owner.
Yes.
Right. Is very outspoken and in the day-to-day operations. The media goes. There's no other team that the media talks to the owner before they talk to the coach and players.
There's only been a handful of teams that do this. Have done this in history. When George Steinbrenner was available, the media would go to George.
Yeah.
When Al Davis had all his marbles, everybody would go to Al. They wouldn't go to the head coach. They would go to Al. Okay? There's not many teams, and they're not successful historically long term. The Raiders, he got away with it because they won a few championships, but he had good coaches and good players.
Right. But, I mean, look, I would say Terry Pagula, is he as involved in the day-to-day operation of the Bills? I would think not.
I don't think so. I think he lets Pete Gwelly and Brandon Beane and Sean McDermott, who I think Sean McDermott and Pete Gwelly are the most powerful guys in the organization.
Okay.
They're running the show. He's just there to, sign the checks and make sure, he's dealing with, the building and everything else, the new stadium.
Yeah.
I don't think he's tinkering. And in fact, I know he isn't.
Right, because... I mean, and at what point does the NFL step in if ownership gets toxic? And yet at the same time, a low NFLPA thing, is this just players airing their grievances?
Yes, that's all it is.
So
that's all it is.
Right.
And it doesn't matter.
And it's just a way to apply pressure on problematic franchises. I don't know. I mean, it's something, right? I don't know how the Bills graded.
Oh, the Bills were interesting. They went from 11th last year overall to 23rd. They dropped.
Okay.
12 points. And they got an F- in team travel, saying that the coaches and the administrators get to sit in first class on the plane while the rest of the team has to sit behind them in these cramped little spaces. Apparently the team plane isn't big enough.
Okay.
And to me, it's like, you're on a chartered jet. Shouldn't you all be in first class? Shouldn't you all get the first class treatment?
Yeah.
Well, apparently, Terry's not spending the money on travel. So they got an F- in that. Head coach and ownership got a B. Last year, they both got A's. Okay, so that is down a letter grade. Head coach ranks 27th in the NFL. So what that tells me is that after the grades came out the last couple of years, I think the coaches have become more player-friendly.
Yeah.
So the tide has risen. So I don't think that Sean McDermott's become a worse coach.
Yes.
I think everybody else has just gotten better with their players. Yeah. So a B is still a hell of a grade for a head coach. Ownership is still a B. So they still like Terry. He's ranked 17th in the NFL. But I mean, there's some other stuff where Here's a big one. The training staff got a C, which was 27th in the NFL. Everything else is a B or up. Their weight room's an A. And you also have to remember with the facilities and everything else, they are building a new stadium. So that's going to go up. Terry Pagula is not going to spend money on new facilities with the current facilities. He's going to put all that money into the new stadium. So when they get over there, those grades will rise automatically in another year or so.
Okay.
So overall, I think the Bills did okay.
Yeah.
But with Woody Johnson and the Jets, there's nothing. I mean, the guy is he was an ambassador to Ireland.
Yes.
The guy's got a ton of power. If they couldn't get Dan Snyder out of football, and believe me, he wouldn't sell us. They basically held the gun to his head, and he got a huge profit on it. He made 1,000% of what he paid for that franchise. Which, by the way, Washington, until he got his hands on it, was a historic franchise.
They were.
A heritage. And they were one of the top 8 most popular teams in the league until he got his hands on it. And I think they're on their way back up. I really do. Woody Johnson would basically have to pull a Donald Sterling to get tossed from the NFL.
All right, Danny, I got to wrap this up because I have to go to the bathroom.
They're 31st.
I have to go to the bathroom so badly. I'm going to.
The Patriots are 31st. They did worse than the Jets.
Kevin, take that.
Yeah. Where's Kevin?
I don't know. He had hockey stuff with
okay. I miss him. Mrs. Wonton Soups.
For Dan Barillo, for Racing Randy, for Dan, who, my God, I tell you what, I just drop a little bit of sports stuff. You can elaborate. You know it all.
I'm barely paying attention.
No, I know, but you like in depth. That was great.
I appreciate that.
I'm Bill Moran. We'll see you next time.